What's up, everybody? Welcome to Gamescast now, episode 29, topic 1. I am Alex, and this is our conversational gaming show, where normally I talk to you guys about gaming-related topics. It comes out every other week, Monday and Wednesday at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for your viewing convenience. Now, this is the new way we do the show. We kind of have videos playing. We talk about gaming topics. We talk about, trending things. We talk about gaming news stories. So it's a little bit of a shakeup of what we used to do. If you watched last week's episode, or the 2 weeks ago's, you would have seen that. So what we're going to be doing this week is kind of firstly embracing that. So last time we kind of just talked about a little bit about random gaming topics, more about 2017 and stuff like that, because there wasn't really a lot to talk about. But since then, there have been a couple stories in the gaming world, a couple new releases. So on Wednesday's topic, we're going to be talking about The Impatient, the PlayStation VR game. I have a preview on that, but we're going to be talking about it even more specifically in that video, talking about PlayStation VR in general. Now, in this video, as you probably know from clicking on it, I want to talk about God of War, because it's getting close. It's getting very close. The Game Informer came out of God of War, on God of War, and we are fastly approaching when it can come out, and that's what I want to talk about. When is God of War going to release? So I want to break down Sony's structure with their first-party exclusives, and just exclusives in general, especially in the first half of the year. And I'll talk about the full year as well, and I'll connect it back to God of War, because I see God of War having a couple opportunities to come out, but honestly, only a couple. There's only a couple spots I see when I look at the calendar that I like for God of War. So let's talk about this. Firstly, you got The Impatient, right? So The Impatient comes out in January. We're fine. Now, a funny thing is, Ni no Kuni 2 was supposed to come out also in January. It got delayed till March 23rd. Now, I really want to play Ni no Kuni 2. I'm going to get a day one. I want to love that franchise. I never even played the first one, but I seriously want to play Ni no Kuni 2. Now, Ni no Kuni 2 is a PlayStation exclusive, console exclusive. It comes out on PC as well. So it comes out on PC and on PS4. But it's technically a PS4 console exclusive. Okay, so I'm going to count it. That comes out March 23rd. You got Valkyria Chronicles 4 that was just recently announced. That comes out, I think, March 20th. So now we're really filling up the end of March. Now, what do we have from Sony from their first-party games? Well, like I said, we have The Impatient. We have Shadow of the Colossus, which comes out in February 6th. So we have an exclusive for PS4 in February. So that's really good. I don't think God of War is coming out in February. I really don't. It's early 2018 is what they say, but I don't think that is what's going to happen. I don't think they're going to have it come out that early. I see it either coming out in March or in April. Now, with March, it's a very, very slippery slope, because I personally think there are a lot of games vying for the attention of the public at the end of March. So like I said, we have Ni no Kuni 2. And that comes out March 23rd. So that's a really big one. And not just because it's big, but it's a Sony exclusive. It's coming out exclusively on PlayStation. We also have Valkyria Chronicles 4, also at the time PS4 exclusive. Now, it's coming out on all other consoles later in the year, but it's coming out on PS4 first. So we're going to get that. So there's already 2 games right there at the end of March. But let's not even look at PlayStation exclusives. Let's look at games in general. Sea of Thieves comes out March 20th. A Way Out, the EA, when you play as the 2 convicts in prison, where it's like couch co-op, but also online, and that whole story kind of thing, March 23rd. Far Cry 5, March 27th. So what we're seeing here is maybe the most bunched up I've ever seen gaming, like in general. There are so many games, and I think I'm forgetting a couple other games, or Yakuza, I think, comes out towards that time too, as well as MLB The Show, I believe, comes out the same day as Far Cry, so probably March 27th. So the point is, end of March is super busy, not just for gaming, but also for PlayStation exclusives. And here's the thing, I don't want to believe Colin Moriarty on what he tweeted about God of War, and honestly, I really don't. And I don't really think it's a big deal how he said, God of War's pre-orders are alarmingly low. That's, I think, because it doesn't have a release date, and you're not going to really pre-order a game that much until it gets a release date. And I actually saw a lot of people tweeting that. I had just thought of that, and I was tweeting it, and I was looking at other people, and we were all saying the same thing. So I definitely think that is behind it. But if you believe in that, then that is also worrisome. You don't want to put up God of War, especially if for some reason it's got these bad numbers. You don't want to put that up against not just Far Cry, not just Sea of Thieves, and not just A Way Out, but also your own PlayStation exclusives. Now, yes, Ni no Kuni was delayed. It wasn't supposed to come out at the end of March. Maybe they always had end of March planned for God of War, but Ni no Kuni's there now. And that's the spot. Shadow of Colossus is in February. The Impatience in January. So now you have a real problem. Now what do you do with God of War? Do you put it at the end of March? There's a couple things they could do, and here's what I think they will do. March 16th, ironically, is the anniversary of God of War 3. It came out 2010, March 16th. March 16th is a Friday. It's a week before all of these games. Now, it's only 4 days before Sea of Thieves and games like that, so it may have some problems there, but it is a week before Ni no Kuni. And to their credit, people that buy Ni no Kuni maybe aren't necessarily buying God of War. So I'm going to predict that God of War is either going to come out on March 16th, or I don't think it should come out until April 6th, which would be the full week after. April is looking very plain from just the game releases we've gotten so far, so I think it's possible that it could come out there, but if it doesn't come out March 16th, I really hope, for the sake of me, for the sake of the channel, for the sake of the fact that we're already going to have a lot of videos and a lot of giveaways at the end of March anyway, so for the sake of my sanity, but not just that, no joking aside, for the sake of Sony and for the sake of selling God of War, I want God of War to be uncontested. It's a little worrisome that we even have to talk about being worried that God of War is going up against Ni no Kuni and Sea of Thieves. But if it's not doing as well as they say it is, you gotta wonder and you gotta be cautious with it. You have to try and help it out a little bit. And Sony's very smart. I'm sure they would know that if God of War isn't so far going up to their expectations, then they need to maybe help it out and kind of buffer it to get it to reach where they want it to be. And I think it's going to sell really, really well. I have no worries that word of mouth in the gaming industry has helped a lot over the past year. So I do believe that if it does well, if it's like a Game of the Year material, if it's Last of Us quality storytelling and characters, I have no doubt word of mouth is going to get around and it will sell extremely well through the weeks, through the months. So I'm not worried necessarily about that. If it's not that great of a game, then that's even worse. But I really don't think that. I really think God of War is going to be a spectacular game. And again, reason early April makes sense is because there's 2 other games you have to worry, 3 really, but 2 exclusives to PlayStation in Spider-Man and Detroit Become Human. Now, Detroit Become Human is said to come out in spring. So you only have a little bit of time of when spring actually is. And you don't want Detroit to come out the same month as Spider-Man. And you don't want Spider-Man to come out too far after. See, I think Spider-Man's a very important game to look at when analyzing where God of War is coming out. Because I think Spider-Man needs to come out probably the end of May. Right around the time of Avengers. You don't have to have it come out the same day as Avengers. You don't have to come out the same week or the week before. But end of May, I think, would probably be a good time to have a Spider-Man game. Now, if you put it there, that's safe because the other game that's not Sony exclusive is Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, this is going to be probably one of the biggest games of all time. It's going to sell incredible. It's going to probably sell better than GTA 5, I personally think. I think Red Dead 2 is going to sell phenomenally. I would not want to put any game, I don't care what Sony exclusive you are, I wouldn't want to put it up against Red Dead. And so I'm sure they're wary about Spider-Man with that. So if I'm them, again, Spider-Man comes out end of May. The rumor has it that Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out June 6th. That's fine. That's perfect. In fact, that helps me. That helps the channel. Again, I'm very selfish. It comes out right before E3. That's a really good time for it. It really is a really good time for it. I would not have another game contest it. So you got to work backwards. Say Red Dead comes out in June. Okay, Spider-Man is now no longer allowed to come out in June. Now Spider-Man needs to come out in May. Do you put Detroit in the same month as Spider-Man? I don't know. I don't think you want to hurt Detroit because Detroit, I think, is a game that will need help. Detroit's a game that you need word of mouth. Detroit's a game that you need to actually be good, firstly. And so you're gonna need some help for Detroit. And putting it up against your superhero game in Spider-Man, I don't think is the best thing you can do. So I would highly advise Sony, if you're listening, to go against that. I would think you should go, Red Dead will probably come out in June, have Spider-Man come out in May, have Detroit come out in April, and now have Detroit come out at the end of April. Have God of War come out in the beginning of April, or have God of War come out in the middle of March. But please, don't put God of War at the end of March. That's really the whole conversation here. I love God of War. We're going to have a giveaway on it. We're going to have special videos. We're going to have a community series. We're going to go all in for God of War. We're very excited here for God of War. I just hope it comes out at a good time for it. I want it to do well. I want it to have a sequel. I want it to have many sequels. I want Sony's first-party games to be good. It's the reason I own a PlayStation is for their exclusives. Their exclusives are so much better than anything Xbox ever makes, and that's just my honest opinion. It's what I feel. It could be, you could have a different opinion, but if you made it this far, I think you're probably a Sony fan anyway. So I hope God of War comes out, again, either March 16th, and that is a significant date. Again, 8 years after the release of God of War 3, to the date. March 16th, 2010, March 16th, 2018. It would make perfect sense. But then you also have the option, again, of having it come out in early April. Those are my 2 days that I think you have to have it come out. You can't let it slip into April. Firstly, that's not early 2018 if it's in the middle of April. That's too far in. That's 4.5 months really into the year. So that's not really early. And then you're really going to be affecting Detroit. I don't want God of War to hurt Detroit. I want God of War to help itself. I want Detroit to help itself. I don't want them interfering with each other. And that's for me from trying to help them financially, from like me looking at it financially, but also me as a gamer. I don't want to be playing them within 1 week of each other because I'll feel rushed through God of War. I'll feel maybe I won't even finish God of War. Maybe I'll play Detroit for a day, but I'll be like, okay, I got to get back to God of War. I don't want to feel that with games that I'm super excited for and games that I wait years for. I mean, I really am stoked and excited for God of War and Detroit and Spider-Man. And I want to experience them all individually at my own pace, how I want to play them without feeling rushed, without saying, oh man, I got to put this down to play Red Dead. I don't want to feel that with these games. And hopefully, and it's a good problem to have because there's so many of them. And that's without even counting in the fall, which we also will have Kingdom Hearts, which isn't a Sony exclusive, but we'd have Kingdom Hearts. We'll be having Days Gone, and Days Gone was obviously going to be the major Sony exclusive of the fall. So that'll be really, really fun to do. So we'll have a big game in Days Gone to kind of kick off Sony's, Black Friday, to kick off maybe around Halloween. So I'm very excited for Days Gone too. That kind of has its own problems, right? Don't come out at the same time as Battlefield. Don't come out at the same time as Call of Duty. Don't come out at the same time as, Madden or, like anything. Like, there's some days that Days Gone has to be careful with too. Dreams, Dreams I think is going to be screwed a lot of different ways, but we'll have to see about Dreams. But I'm really excited for God of War. I can't wait for it to come out. So rumor has it we're going to get a release date very, very soon. Hopefully it's not within the 2 days that I've recorded this. I recorded this on the Saturday, so hopefully Sunday or today they don't announce the release date because now I look stupid, especially if I'm completely wrong. But if I'm right, I can call myself on it and say, look what I predicted. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think. When do you think God of War should come out? When do you want it to come out? What do you think about their planning? How should they plan all of their exclusives in God of War, in Detroit, and in Spider-Man? How should they do it? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Like and share the video. Again, Wednesday's topic, we're going to be talking about the Impatient and the PlayStation VR. Can the Impatient save PlayStation VR? We're going to be having a whole kind of topic talking about Sony's virtual reality console, talking about the Impatient, and going from there. So I will see you guys on Wednesday.